Hey everyone, it's Rachel with Rachel's Wig Reform. I am back with the Wille Dance as promised to show you how I'm going to pluck out the part in this. Now the initial review for Dance will be in the description box, so if you want to see that, just expand the box and then the link will be there for you to easily find it. So in the original review, this part was over this way a little bit more. And I moved it over more. Before you pluck out your parts, you want to make sure it's right where you want it. It's not something you can pluck out and then go, oh, let me move that, and it starts to become a mess. So I played around with this and parted it and moved the fibers over until I got it how I wanted it. So this is about how much I want on this side. I want more coming over onto this side. And now I know this is where I'm going to start plucking my part. This looks a little poofy right now because most of these fibers were over here and I just moved them this way. So it seems a little crazy. Before I get going with plucking out the part, I'm going to take my hot air brush just like I did in the original video. But I'm going to kind of pull these fibers over to this side and kind of get that poof out of there just a little bit. And then it also trains those fibers to know this is what side you need to be on. And then I also will have less fighting with the fibers as I'm plucking, because these pieces will want to fall back to the other side. So I'm just gonna do that and let it cool a little bit. So there's a decent decent look in there right now for a part, but I just want to pluck that out a little bit more, and then it's going to help with the fiber staying in the direction that I want it to be. So the, oh my goodness, the tweezers that I use, I got these free from Macy's when I was ordering some cosmetics. Now, they come with two different ones. They have like a flat edge, and then they have one that's kind of angled. I never care which one I grab. I just grab one of them. It doesn't matter to me, I guess, if it's the straight edge or the angled edge. It's never felt a difference with them. The only thing that I would say when you're doing your tweezers is the handle. I think that's the most important part, is you want to make sure you have a handle that you feel secure holding on to. These are very smooth, and you know, some people might not be able to get a good grip on this when you're plucking out your wig. They do make tweezers that have a wider base, I guess, on it, and some of them have those little grippies on them also. So look for a tweezer that is going to be easy for you to work with and handle. As far as the straight edge or the angled edge, that doesn't matter, to be honest. So I kind of did my bangs how I wanted them, got the part where I want it to go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in and I always start randomly. I don't know. I kind of start in the middle. And what I'm doing is I'm just now plucking at fibers. I'm not digging into the lace, okay? I'm just sort of skimming right now across that top, pulling the fibers out just a little bit at a time. Sorry if I don't talk a whole lot during this, or if I start a sentence and then have no idea what I'm talking about halfway through or forget. Don't stress about getting it straight and perfect. That's the least of your worries, okay? You just want to go in and start plucking away and taking a little bit out at a time. Now I am eventually going to comb this, but what I'm doing is just kind of moving those fibers a little over to the side. And I'm lightly going in. I'm not pushing hard into the lace. Okay, and you can see it's starting to open up just a little bit more. Now, this, when I feel both sides of the fibers, this side is thicker. Now, one of the things about plucking apart is it's not just about going down the center. You kind of have to get into about right here on the sides of the part to thin it out a little bit, especially on the side that has the thicker bangs. If you don't, what happens is you pluck this out and then this just sort of becomes like a little too thick. So this edge right along here, once I get the part plucked out, I'm going to go in and just kind of thin that out a little bit, and I'll show you what I mean when I get there. Your hair, your wig will look crazy when you're plucking this out. And the good thing about this wig is that it has a really deep mono part. You can go all the way back, or you can stop. You know, you don't have to go the full distance of it. I think it normally takes me about a half an hour to pluck apart. It just depends on the wig, to be honest. I have found that the heat defiant wigs are harder to pluck. I don't know why. Maybe it's the texture of the fibers or the way they're sewn in, but I feel like it's always harder to get in there and make a difference. Sometimes people will say, you know, I was plucking and plucking and plucking, and I felt like nothing changed. And it will feel that way. So see, I'm just kind of going in to this thicker part and plucking some of that out, just so I don't get a big bulk. And if I need to, I can go in with the thinning shears underneath into that root area and take, oh, there goes my tweezers, sorry about that, and take some of that bulk out if needed. But what I would suggest is always take a picture of your part prior to plucking it and then take it after. Like I said, sometimes when you're plucking it, you feel like you're not making a difference until you see the before and after pictures. And then you're like, oh, okay, there is a difference there. And don't be afraid if it's your first time, you know, doing it. Do a little bit. Wear the wig for a day. See how you feel about it. Do you want to do a little bit more? Then come back and do a little bit more. You don't have to be like, you don't have to finish it in one day. Sometimes you just want to see how that feels. And it's always better and easier to take out more than to take out too much, because you can't put it back. I remember when my husband said, be careful when you cut that wig. And I said, yeah, I am. And he goes, well, because you know it won't grow back. Really? Thank you. I was not aware of that. I thought these synthetic fibers just grew. Sometimes, I gotta tell you. So now I'm just brushing out the fibers of what I plucked. And when you're done plucking your wig, you're gonna wanna give it a good shake too. Or sometimes I'll take that hot air brush and I'll just kind of like blow it through there to get all those extra fibers out. So you see it's starting to come along there. This is so much different plucking this out in my phone than it is in a mirror. This Wille Dance is kind of has a, I don't know, like an 80s feel to it. Does that make sense when I say that? Kind of like Madonna. Just need a scarf to come up and tie it around in a big bow. So I'm just going to keep looking and seeing. Again, I'm not concerned about this poofiness that's going on because I know I just moved that part over there and I can fix that. I'm just looking at the part. See how it's just jaggered back there? It's not a perfectly straight line. You don't want that. You want it to look like it's your natural hairline. And natural hairlines, or parts, I should say, I apologize, not a hairline, they're not perfect. You know, sometimes people will be very particular and part that perfect straight part for a style or something. But for the most part, when we're walking around on a day-to-day basis, we don't have perfect parts. One of the things that my husband told me when I first started wearing wigs, whenever we got up close to each other and he was talking to me, I always felt him like look up at my hairline. And I'm like, what are you looking at? And he goes, I just don't like the way it looks. He said, everything just looks too perfect. It's too straight. He said, from a distance, I would never know you're wearing a wig, but as soon as I get up close to you, he goes, I totally know you have a wig on because it's too straight and poof, like perfect. And honestly, I wanted to just smack him. Like, you don't even know what you're talking about. But he did, actually. So that is when I went home and I was like, okay, how do you fix this? And I started watching some videos and looking at some different options to fix it. And I took one of my old wigs and I put it on and I took a before picture and I sent it to him. And I said, okay, I'm going to do something here. I'm going to pluck this out and I'm going to try to make it look more natural. Then I'm going to send you the after picture. And my husband's honest. Like, he won't say, oh yeah, that looks better if it doesn't look better. Like, he just won't. He'll say, no, I don't see a difference, you know, whatever. So there's good and bad to that because sometimes you don't want to hear the truth. And then other times, when he gives you a compliment, you know he's being sincere also. So I did it and I sent him the before and after pictures. And he's like, yeah, that is 1,000 times better. And then at that point on, I started looking at everybody's hairlines. Not just people with wigs, but everybody's hairlines. And he was right. Most of them are really jacked up and not straight. And with the wigs, sometimes those parts can be just very heavy. And just opening them up a little bit can make a big difference. And I cut the lace on this and I you can see it's not perfect. It's not straight across. I even cut it over here and you can see it's not perfect. It's how a hairline would be. And I could go in there and pluck out a little bit more if I needed to. I just wanted to wait until I got the part done. So ever since I plucked out that one wig, I kind of, it's just become my thing where I do it with all of them. And you can make this as like narrow of a part as you want, and you can make it wider too. It's totally up to you, but just remember, take it slow, because it's very hard to maneuver the fibers back in the different directions, because you can see already these bangs they just know that this is the way they're going now. These fibers have just kind of been transitioned over here, and this opening up that part makes that separation and it keeps them there. Okay. And so that's all I did, and it doesn't look like I did much, but when you see the before and after pictures, that's when you will really be able to tell, like, oh yeah, that did make a difference. And then from a distance, you know, if I was looking down, you would see my part. And then you can do fun things with it. You can put the one side behind your ear, this side over here. I don't know if I'll have to thin anything out on this side or not. I want to wait until I get all the fibers brushed out of here. When I said I'll use my hot air brush, sometimes I'll just take it and sort of get in there, and this is just on a cool heat, and kind of do that to get all the loose pieces that I plucked out of there. And that little technique that I did right there too is also good for, you know how we always say shake a wig and get the fibers moving and getting them away from the cap because they've been sitting in a box forever. That little technique with that cool air will do the same thing. All right, so there it is. I want so much behind my ear there. Now, here's another little trick that I do with some Peace Out cream. John Renault Peace Out cream. I love this stuff, and it lasts forever. You do not need a whole lot of it, but I take just about that much, and I rub it in real good. You don't want like the white chunks on your fingers. And then just go in and kind of do this to your part and separate that. And then sometimes people talk about the flyaways up there. This will help with that, because see how I'm going just like an inch or so away from that? That will help lay down those crazy pieces that are flying away. And then I will take some and I will go up along my hairline too, and right over here. Because you know how you'll get those pieces that will want to fall in your face throughout the day? Just add a little Peace Out cream to it, and it kind of glues it over to the one side. Get a little bit more. And then I'm going to go up over here. And then these pieces right in here, I just kind of take the Peace Out cream and I sort of just twist it around the fibers there underneath to keep them together, because sometimes those pieces can get, you know, they want to fall into your face. And then piece out cream, especially with like a little curly wavy wig like this, just get it in your hands and just kind of go in there and play around with the fibers, get it to where you want it to be. Make sure you get all the white rubbed in too. Sometimes in a hurry, I have a big like chunk of white in my hair. Not a cool look. And so this piece out cream, a little bit goes a long way. And I especially love it like right up here on that hairline to keep those little pieces away. All right, so here is the final result of Dance. I really like this wig. I think it's kind of wild and crazy, but I think it's fun. And it does need a little work out of the box, especially with the bangs, but you'll see in that original video how easy it is to fix it and make it work. And you know, look, I can look down and come back up, and you know, these bangs are not really falling in my face. That is a big plus, and that is part of plucking, the benefits of it. I think also cutting the lace and getting it close to the hairline is a benefit too for keeping the hair out of your eyes. I cut everything right up, really close to the hairline. I don't cut into the hairline, although I do, because I do get so close, because I get so close, you will lose some of those little wispy flyaways when you brush it out. But the truth is, those flyaways that you're losing when you're cutting out your lace are the flyaways that drive you nuts, that fall in your face. So there's the benefit of it. And I always like to not have what I call naked lace. I don't want to see lace coming down around my face where there's no fibers to it. So this is just cut really close. There's no lace. Okay. All right, so I hope that helps with plucking out the part. Just do a little at a time. Get a set of tweezers that you feel comfortable using. Get yourself some piece out cream if you don't have it yet. It is a savior just for, you know, the parts and playing around with these fibers a little and making it work how you want it. And don't be afraid to style your wig, okay? Don't be afraid to do some things to it. Obviously, we cannot put heat to this like a curling iron. We're not going to do anything to destroy our wigs, but sometimes I think we're just a little too gentle with them or afraid to do things to them. Don't be. If you're not, you know, it's not heat friendly, I'm not putting a curling iron to it, but you know what, come on, let's comb this, let's pluck it, let's put some product in it, let's move it where we want it to be so you feel comfortable wearing it. So otherwise, what's the purpose of having that wig if you're not going to feel great when you walk out the door with that? Okay? All right, everyone, make sure you subscribe to my channel, follow all the links in the description box, and we will talk with you soon.